In the area, particularly like lynching, when African Americans were accused of crimes, there are a number of bishops within the Southern Methodist Church that would say things like, well, blacks sort of have a penchant toward violence, and so they would in many ways sort of excuse what was going on. And so for me, that's a lesson, because it's a lesson for today in that I think the church needs to speak out on the issues, and I'm talking about the white, sort of broader white church, speak out on these issues of injustice, and we can't excuse them away, because what that does, and I've seen this through my work on the CME Church, is that it causes greater division. And so it's important for the church to speak out, and I am hopeful. There are a number of people who have spoken out on the injustices they've seen of late. I appreciate, Russell Moore speaking out, and others talking about, these are things that we cannot continue. And so that's one of the things I appreciate. I appreciate the millennial generation seems to be very interested in social justice issues. The other thing I would say is that one of the things that was really important to this period was the involvement of the Black church. Because even though African American ministers were faced a tremendous amount of violence and oppression and threats, they would speak out. Maybe it wasn't in a very sort of public venue, but within the confines of the church, they would find ways to speak out on these issues and empower their congregants to persevere through the challenges that they were facing. And so that's one of the things I see with the CME Church, is that that's one of the things you have happen, is that they do that. And one of the lessons for today is I think it's important for the church, and I would say particularly for the Black church, to speak out on these issues. If we look at the civil rights movement, if you look at it, who were the people in the modern civil rights movement pushing for change? They were Black ministers. And part of the reason why is because they had this long-standing connection with this history, not only with the CME Church, but the broader Black church as well.